Hey everybody, this is Pat, and here I finally got my Prowler out for the first time this year in 2021, and I'm here to tell you about some cool road trips I got planned for this year. Hey, so first just a note, if you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, please do so. I've got a lot of people that have been watching my videos, but not a whole lot of them subscribe, and I really need those subscribers to help keep this channel going. If you could just make sure you click that red subscribe button and also the little bell next to it. That notification bell lets you know if I ever make more videos. Hey, I also want to tell you about a new channel that I started. It's called My Old Car. It's basically about what the name says. I go over some older cars, first of all the ones that I used to own, and I hope to do some other videos of other cars from like the 80s and mid-2000s. Cars you never see anymore on the road. I've kind of set this up like a documentary type style channel. If you could take a look at it, I'm going to give you the link in the description below. Don't have a whole lot of views on it yet because I only got a few videos. Maybe it's because most people haven't heard about it yet. You know, YouTube doesn't exactly have their algorithm set up to handle a new channel like this very well. But besides that, if you can give it a try, I'd really appreciate it. So again, just try clicking the link below and let me know what you think. So actually, I just got my car out here for the first time this year. This is my first trip on it. I went over here to my local park here in Rochester, Michigan. Still looking kind of nasty out here. It's March 9th as I'm recording this. And everything looks kind of dead still, unfortunately. But the car came out good. When I took her out of the bag, everything looked good. I had to deflate the tires a little bit because I overfilled them when I first get it out, when I first put it away in the bag. But she started up good. A little rough driving at first because of the wheels. The tires get a little bit of a flat spot on them, but you drive for a little bit and they've been doing pretty good. So an interesting story here. When I got here, there's a guy that, unfortunately I didn't get on video because I didn't get my camera set up right yet. But there was a guy that came up in a red Ford Focus, started looking at my car, really, let me know how great it was and all that, which of course it is. And I was actually kind of surprised. He said he read one time that he knew of a guy that actually was able to turn this car into a four-wheel drive car. And that I couldn't exactly believe. I said, you got to give me some info, send me some pictures about this one. I'm definitely interested. So I gave him some info about my channel. Hopefully he can send some photos here and let us know, if this is actually true. I suspect it's a different car underneath, and they might have put a Prowler body on it because there's really no way that I know of that you can put a drivetrain in there that would run to the front wheels. But let's wait and see what happens. So when I took my car out this year, I haven't actually taken it in to get any work done on it yet. This is driven right from home. I haven't got an oil change or anything like that, and I don't plan to, because when I had the oil change back in the fall, I had them put all synthetic oil in, which is supposed to last at least a year. And so last year, the same thing. I didn't get the oil change when I took it out of the bag, and same for this year. The only other thing that I got planned coming up this year is I am considering maybe getting the spark plugs replaced. That's something that I haven't had done. That's something that that's kind of a debatable thing. Some people say, well, you don't really need to do it. Some people say you do just because of the age. It's something I'm kind of considering because I am planning some road trips this year, which is the point of this video. One of those trips is to get new window regulators done. As you may know, the window regulators in here, the original ones do need to get replaced. And Tom Mills, who's a member of the POA, the Prowler Owner Association, or prowleronline.com, does make a replacement set of the regulator, and I'm hoping I can go see him later this spring. We haven't set a date yet, but I'm going to see if he can put them in for me because I'm terrible at this and I don't want to try to replace this. And my local mechanic, who's done all the other work on this car, did not really want to take these panels out because actually a couple years back, these things here, these switches actually fell out when my wife was trying to use it, and they fell right down inside the armrest. And I took it over to my mechanic. He had to pull this panel off to be able to get them out of there and get it fixed. But he was really nervous about it because he was afraid, these panels, old plastic, would break. And so he's not really thrilled about taking them both off and replace the window regulator. So I'm going to see if Tom can do it for me, and that'll be the first part of my road trip because I'm in Michigan and he's in Indiana, and I'm going to see if I can stop there first. But as far as after that, that's what I still have to decide. I've got several other places I'd like to go, several other people I'd like to see. If you probably somewhere between, see, I'm in Michigan, I'm going to go to Indiana, and if I can make it all the way to Texas, it would be great. Because I didn't make it down there last year for the last Prowler event that Marty Usher did. And I'm hoping I actually can go see him. I haven't talked to him about it yet, so when he sees this video, I've talked to him about doing a video, but I originally wanted a Zoom call. But if I could see him in person, talk about his car and some of the things he's done, I definitely would like to do that. And then if I can make it all the way to Arizona, I'd like to see my old buddy Jerry and the other guys that I've met online and through my videos, Randy and Jeff, that I did in my previous videos. I would like to meet you guys in person, see if we can do a video. And if I could, go all the way to California and meet Juan. Juan was a great person to have on my video, and I'd definitely like to do that again too. Now, if I actually do this trip, if I do make it all the way to California, then I got to get back. And so when I figured out how much time this would take, from California to go make my way all the way back home again, it's going to be a long trip, a couple weeks. Not sure if I can do it, but I would definitely want to let anybody else know that they're kind of along that way. If they'd be interested in me seeing anything they've got there, doing it in person, let me know. I can't promise anything. Can't even promise I'm going to do this trip yet. But if there's somebody out there that's got their car that's kind of on my way, I would definitely like to see it. Definitely like to show everybody what you got. So just leave a comment and let me know. As far as other trips that I'd like to do, unfortunately, because I'm in Michigan, I can't get over to Canada yet. There's a lot of people that I've met online and do my videos with that are in Canada that I would love to meet. Some of them in Ontario. And definitely would like to do some videos over there. Unfortunately, because of COVID, the border is still closed. I'm not an essential worker, and this is not exactly an essential service that I'd be doing. So I can't exactly get over there and do that. But as soon as that is available, as soon as I can do that, I would definitely like to hopefully get another trip over there. That'll be a much shorter trip, a little more reasonable to do. Definitely want to see James again. I want to definitely see Tony. I haven't been able to meet him in person. And most of all, I want to see Yuri. Yuri and Jacob from the Straight Pipes, I would love to meet them. I would love to be able to get a chance to just take some time out of their schedule to be able to see them and see Yuri's Prowler. Maybe do some drag racing, which he'd probably beat the hell out of me if he did that, but whatever. I shouldn't say beat the hell out of me, but he'd probably beat me in the drag race. So it would be definitely worth it, at least see him and get a chance to do that. But definitely something I'm looking forward to this summer. Hey. Oh no, sure, go ahead.
Sorry about being weird and sitting in the car. She's doing her class.
Oh, I didn't even notice.
Okay, yeah.
You don't mind I'm filming. I actually have a YouTube channel I do about this car. Yeah, I have a channel I do about this car, and so I just got it out I just took it out of my garage for the first time this year. Okay. So I wanted to give it for a spin and see how it goes. You don't mind if you're on camera, do you?
No.
Okay.
No, I've just wondered how the suspension works in these things.
Well, this is actually, yeah, the suspension is all actually attached in.
Right.
Right through here. This goes right up into the shock. I can lift the hood if you're interested.
Yeah. Don't mind.
Oh no, hey, that's why I love it when people like to see the car. That's one of the reasons I got it.
I always wondered how they did it.
Yeah, so this is a 2000 model.
Okay.
They only made this car for between 97 and 2002. And you can see here the way the shocks are set up there.
So is that technically a cantilever? Or a similar setup to cantilever? Have you ever seen that?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
I'm not a great mechanic myself.
Okay.
So honestly, I couldn't tell you offhand.
It's cool that they got the battery out front.
Yeah, that actually makes it great for when I store it, because I can hook up my battery tender to it. I can just put it up from underneath and just plug it in, and makes it very easy to be able to do that. Hey.
So many of them around it.
No, you don't.
Yeah. I think I might have worked on some of those parts for that when I was working at a tool shop years ago.
Really?
Oh yeah, I did a lot of molds and dies for a lot of crazy stuff.
Who'd you work for?
Ah, Jesus. I was working at Roush,
Okay.
Collins and Aikman.
It's a cool car.
Tech, all of them, yeah. Yeah, they were pretty cool back in the day. Just not many around.
No. That's
Yeah, I don't see
that's half the reason I don't like it, because it's real fast, because it's really not. But it's so unique. That's as soon as I could find one. That's
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
and nobody will ever build a car like this again. Chrysler
No.
did this, and nobody will ever do it again. So it's like,
It was quite a big deal at the time. Eh?
oh yeah,
What year is this?
2000.
Okay, that's right.
Yeah, I was just telling them they only made these from 97 to 2002.
Yeah.
About 11,700 total were ever built.
Yep.
Wow.
So, no,
You got your t-shirt to match.
I do. I'm all set.
They're sweet. You ever gone down to the, what is It's at there's a show in Ohio. It's all Plymouth and.
I've heard about it. I've heard about that one. Yeah, I've not actually had a chance to go to that. It's a Mopar show that's there. I've heard. I think it's in Columbus.
Okay. Yeah.
I've heard about it. I've not been able to go to it. No, I've taken this to a couple shows in Carlisle, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
They've got a huge field out there that they do. That they do car shows throughout the summer.
Okay.
And one of the ones they do each year is all Mopar themed one. And so I've met other guys there, and we get a spot there that we can line up all our cars. But you got every Chrysler made, for the most part, like from like the 60s on up. You don't see many older than that. But of course, you got all the Chargers and Challengers and all that are going to be there. But not a whole lot of these. And so when people see this, a lot of people are like, "What the hell is that?"
Wow.
It's a lot of people, and those that do know it, it doesn't always get a great reputation, because it's only got a V6, and people complain about that.
That's all that matters.
Well, that's the nice thing about it. It's all aluminum, only weighs about 2,800 pounds. So that definitely.
Yeah.
That,
Any bit of power up front.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So I mean, compared to cars today, yeah. I mean, if you're comparing it to a car today, it's slow.
Yeah.
But it's only a 4-speed, which does, the gearing is only so good. It's an automatic, but it has a manual shifting feature on it. You could back in the day they called it auto stick. You can take the shifter to push it down one, and you could move it left and right to allow you to shift the car. I haven't used that too often, honestly, because it does pretty well. I mean, the thing is that it'll hold the gear pretty long, because in the old cars, like the Dodge Intrepid and some of the other cars from back then, had that auto stick too. Yeah. But they were more picky as far as if you left it in gear and you didn't shift it, the computer would think, okay, well, you're not paying attention, and I'll shift it for you. This car won't do that.
Okay.
It'll just cut the fuel. If you rev it too high, it'll shut the fuel supply down to it to make sure that it won't over rev it. Yeah. But it figures if you're using this car, you're smart enough to know you should pay attention and shift it. So.
Yeah, I've wondered how the suspension is in the front of these.
Yeah, so the Coney shocks that are here, some of the models before this one had a different one that's actually kind of prone to leakage, so thankfully this one has not been an issue. But yeah, and again, I've only got about 16,000 miles on this car. Because when I originally got it, the guy who owned it was in Florida, and it sat in his garage all its life for the most part. It had 370 miles on it when I bought it, and it was 16 years old. Wow. And thankfully it was in Florida, so it was in kind of a moist environment. It didn't dry out too bad, and there wasn't really too much. But I had everything rubber in the car replaced, just in case, because tires.
It's hard to find for them.
Some parts of the engine aren't too hard, because that engine was the exact same engine that was in the Chrysler 300M.
Okay.
And the Dodge Intrepid RT had the same engine.
Okay.
So I've already had the timing belt all redone, and all that was easy to find, because this is a very common engine. So that was not an issue to get that replaced. But obviously any body related stuff, yes, that's difficult to find. But some parts mechanical are unique to the car, like the front brakes actually were shared like with the minivans at the time, but the back brakes are all unique, because these are 17-inch wheels in the front, but they're 20-inch in the back, and no other car had a 20-inch wheel back when this car was built. So they had to make them unique for the car at the time. So those are a little bit harder to find, and obviously the wheels are a little bit harder to find. I unfortunately have got to get the wheels on the passenger side. I have to get fixed because I hit a bump or hit a bad pothole at one point, and there is a bend in the rim on each one. I don't know if I can see it in there, but somewhere in there, it's hard to find it, but there is a bend on the inside of the rim somewhere in there. I spotted it when I took it to my dealer to do my service on it last fall, and he actually let me come out and take a look at it while he had it up on the lift, and he pointed it out, and I'm like, oh, crap. So and these wheels are expensive to replace, so I'll probably see if I can find a shop that can bend them back.
Yeah.
But so far it hasn't caused me any trouble. I think I hit the pothole middle last summer, and I haven't had any leakage or any issue with that, so luckily that has not been a problem.
If it's just a slight bend, all they do is heat it up and they'll bend it.
Right. I think it's fixable. I mean, looking at it, I don't think it's going to be, so one of those things I do have to do at some point.
Mind if I look at the inside?
Go right ahead.
The only time I ever got to see any of these is when I was down at that show in Ohio. There was a ton of them there.
Really?
Yeah. And other than that, I mean, I saw one.
What year was that you went?
Probably 3-4 years ago now.
Okay.
So It's been a while. Since
Okay.
I don't recall the.
I belong to an online club for this car, and I know a guy that's told me about that show, and I think he's actually posted more than once about it. That show's going on. I've heard about it. It's one of those things I couldn't get to, but yeah, it's you're right. I think it's only a Mopar show though, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably.
Okay.
It's also a swap meet.
Oh yeah, those shows always have a swap meet.
And is it solid rear axle?
Yeah. Well, the transmission's back here.
Oh,
Yeah. So the drivetrain comes through the middle, and the transmission actually was also one that was, for the most part, was shared with other Chrysler cars at the time.
Yeah.
But it was, just redesigned a little bit to allow for the fact that it's actually a transaxle.
Okay.
So so actually, when you open up the trunk, you'll see that there's very little trunk space.
Yeah, no kidding.
And that's because not only is the transmission below there, but the gas tank's actually sitting on top of the transmission, right under the floor. There's access ports in there to get into the gas tank. The gas tank's sitting right there because there's no other room for it.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where they had to put. And so unfortunately, it makes filling up the gas a little bit because normally your car is going to have, your thing is going to go down,
Right.
farther down to the floor of the car. Well, this one, it doesn't go down very far. And so sometimes the gas has a little trouble. It tends to shut off a lot when you're at the pump because
It doesn't have the
because
time to
right,
get
because
the chamber.
the fumes are coming up quicker, it sets off the thing, and
That's
yeah.
cool.
So well, it's
Not
not
cool,
cool. Yeah,
but
it's an unfortunate
annoying, but-
it's an unfortunate side effect that an owner of this car has to deal with regularly.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, but I also have I have a matching trailer that I tow behind it.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, there was about 1,300 trailers that they built for this car. It was actually a separate company that built them, but they're designed to look like the back end of the car. So from the back, it looks just like the back of this car.
That's cool.
Yeah, so that you see the tail lights, you see the shape, and all that is all there. But I've used it because when I go on these trips, obviously I have very little space to carry anything, and so when you get that trailer, you can load up a lot of stuff in it. Yeah, so. If it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be able to take it on the trips. I've told anybody if they, it's kind of hard to find one. Again, there's only 1,300 of them they ever made.
Right.
But it's when I was able to find one after I got the car, it was something that I told myself I gotta find one, and I had to get it repainted obviously because the one I got was painted blue when I got it because it was designed to match another car. Well, I found it after when I had it repainted and they sanded it down. They found out that it had been two other colors before that. It started as yellow originally. And then it got painted red, and then it was blue when I got it, or dark blue, and then so now it's back. The trailer is back to its original color.
That's cool.
But most trailers are like that because they get sold off to different people, and then their trailer doesn't match their car, and so they got to repaint it. So, well, thank you. Thanks, I appreciate it.
What's the YouTube channel?
It's actually just my name, Patrick O'Mara. So if you look up what it's like to own a Plymouth Prowler, that's all my videos have that in the title.
Okay.
So you just look that up, and they're all in there. And this will be one too that I'm going to do today. If you don't mind, you'll be in it. I appreciate you letting me video because I like to be able to tell people about the car, and I get a lot of people looking at it. It's not like I'm the type of person that's like, oh, hey, look at my car. It's just that it's so unique. I just love it because it's different, and I like people that are interested in wondering, curious what it is, because a lot of people, even around here, even though the car was built near here,
Right.
many people still don't know what it is.
Right.
And so when I take it on some trips, I definitely go places that nobody's ever seen it before, and it's cool to be able to tell people about it and learn about it. So, hey, well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. And just to be clear, even though the top's down in the car, I didn't drive it that way today. Not that brave, not that strong. It's only probably about 50 degrees out here today, which is not bad, but it was just warm enough and just enough snow has melted that I would be able to safely take the car out, but a little too cold yet for that. But hopefully I got some more videos coming up soon, maybe some Zoom calls. I've got a couple other guys that I've been talking to that would like to do some videos. As soon as those are ready to go, I will put those up, get them ready. And again, thank you for watching. Again, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so, and please check out my new channel as well, My Old Car. Definitely would appreciate it, and we'll see you next time.